Hello, I'm Roshan Chadha and I'll be talking about the research paper on Trafalatura, a web scraping library and command line tool for text discovery and extraction. The author of the research paper is Adrian Barbaresi. Abstract: an essential operation in web corpus construction consists in retaining the desired content while discarding the rest. Another challenge: finding one's way through websites. This article introduces a text discovery and extraction tool published under open source license. Its installation and use is straightforward, notably from Python and on the command line. The software allows for main text, comments, and metadata extraction, while also providing building blocks for web crawling tasks. A comparative evaluation on real-world data also shows its interest as well as the performance of other available solutions. Introduction and useful monolingual text corpora across languages are highly relevant for the NLP community. Web corpora seems to be a natural way to gather language data. Corpus construction usually involves crawling, downloading, cleaning, and deduplicating the data, then linguistically annotating it and loading it into a corpus query tool. However, although text is ubiquitous on the web, drawing accurate information from web pages can be difficult. In addition, the vastly increasing variety of corpora, text types, and use cases makes it more and more difficult to assess the usefulness and appropriateness of certain web text for given research objectives. As a result, content adequacy, focus, and quality need to be evaluated after the downloads. A significant challenge lies in the ability to extract and pre-process web data to meet scientific expectation with respect to text quality. Another challenge is how to find one's way through the web, notably as linguistic data are gathered by running targeted web crawlers. Finally, depending on the project's jurisdiction, legal aspects of retrieving and granting access to web documents can be unclear or restricted. State of the art. Even before the Web 2.0 paradigm, with web pages assembling information from and for a variety of sources, notably the advertising industry, web pages have been known for the lack of focus on directly usable text content. Despite the quality of pages following an article format where there is a main text to be found, web pages now accessible through archives cannot be expected to be easy to process. Articles published on the www often contain extraneous cluster. Most articles consist of a main body which constitutes the relevant part of the particular page. Identifying the main body of the web page in a general, robust manner is a difficult information extraction problem. Data extraction has first been based on wrappers, now called scrapers, which were mostly relying on manual design and tended to be brittle and hard to maintain. Generic extraction techniques ground on document object model (DOM) examination. An earlier language-independent approach uses entropy measures applied to features, links, and content in order to discriminate among parts of the web page. The DOM considers a given HTML document as a tree structure whose nodes represent parts of the document to be operated on. Machine learning approaches have also been used whose interest generally consists in leveraging advances in classification tasks by treating a HTML document as a series of blocks to be classified. Introducing the Trafalatura tool. Features. Trafalatura is a web scraping tool for text discovery and retrieval which seamlessly downloads phrases and scrapes web page data. It can crawl and discover text within a website and process them accordingly. The software features parallel online and offline processing. URLs, HTML files, or parsed HTML trees can be used as input. Although straight output of Python variables is possible, conversion to various common output formats makes the software more versatile. Plain text, CSV, JSON, XML, and XML-TEI. In addition, downloads utilities are included, notably using a multi-threaded but polite processing of URL queues, that is, time restrictions based on domain names. Persistent connections are managed by a connection pool, thus maintaining connection with websites to be scraped. The package provides a relatively lightweight and modular architecture, letting users choose the component they wish to include. It has been tested on Linux, Mac OS, and Windows, and can be used with Python on the command line with R and through a graphical user interface. Extraction process. The extraction combines two acknowledged libraries, Readability LXML8 and JustText9, which are used as safety nets and fallbacks. Trifluritura's own extraction algorithm is based on a cascade of rule-based filters and content heuristics. 1. Content delimitation is performed by XPath expressions targeting common HTML elements and attributes, as well as idiosyncrasies of main content management systems. First, in a negative perspective, with the exclusion of unwanted parts of the HTML code, and next by centering on the desirable content. Second, if fallbacks are selected and targeted by a possible faculty extraction, the other algorithms are run as a backup. Third, in case nothing worked, a baseline extraction is run in order to look for wild text elements that most probably have been missed, which implies to discard unwanted parts and to look for any elements which may contain useful text contents. The extraction is desired to be robust and modular and provides a trade-off between precision and recall in most settings. As a result, main text and potential comments are returned. With optional perseverance of structure elements, extraction of metadata is also included, that is by descending frequency, title, site name, author, date, categories, and tags. Evolution benchmark. The benchmark is run on a collection of 500 documents which are either typical for internet articles or non-standard and thus harder to process. Some contain mixed content and or non-standard, not fully valid HTML code. They were selected from large collections of web pages. For the sake of completion, few documents in other languages are added. Target of the extraction is the main content, which is usually the part displayed centrally without the left or right bars, the header or the footer, but including potential titles and comments. Decisive document segments of a few words each are singled out. About 3 per web pages are manually annotated as part of the main text or unwanted boilerplate. Raw text segments are expected as a way to evaluate extraction quality without markup, that is HTML to TXT in itself, which avoids indirectly factoring in how the system deals with markup. Tools. The benchmark focuses on the Python programming language, reportedly the most popular programming language in academia and one of the most popular overall. A few algorithms have been ported from other languages such as Java and JavaScript, which contributes to giving an exhaustive yet incomplete panorama of available solutions overall. In case software packages are not actively maintained, the most prominent usable fork is used. The tools are compared to the raw page source and the meaningful baseless also provided by Triflutura, which consists in extraction of the text contained in JSON data or paragraph code or quoting elements. Two varieties of Triflutura are evaluated, first using its own algorithm and second including its fallback mechanism based on external libraries. Results. Baseline extraction is simple and fast. It beats a few systems, showing its interest. JustText is highly configurable and tweaking its configuration leads to better performance than its generic settings. That is why it has been done here. The only solid conclusion which can be drawn from execution times are that Goose 3 and Newspaper are slower than the rest, while Newsplease's execution time isn't comparable because of operations unrelated to text extraction. The Newspaper and Boiler Python 3 modules do not work without errors on every HTML file in the test set, probably because of malformed HTML encoding or parsing bugs. It turns out that rule-based approaches such as Trifluritura's own algorithm obtain balanced results despite a lack of precision. Although the library in itself is already above the rest, it performs significantly better than the other tested solutions when combined with generic algorithmic approaches. External evaluation. Few external evaluations are already available. They ground on early releases of the software during its development. A previous version of Trafalgar is the most efficient open source library. In Scraping Hub's article, Extraction Benchmark, 23 significant better results are also reported in the case of French and Swedish for a previous version, as well as the best overall macro mean on the multilingual and manual annotated Daniel corpus, comprising about 1,600 web pages in 5 different languages. In a further context, the tool has proven to be efficient on main text extraction to create Turkic parallel corpora. Discussion. In some cases, no text is written, but there is no way to written text at all cost without impacting precision. Teferaturas as a whole is currently made from users aiming for better text quality, while rule-based approaches are both easier to use and parameterize, and extraction presets would be useful in order to make the tool more adaptable to research contexts such as precision-based settings where discarding more elements is paramount, or recall-based settings where empty or nearly empty documents are concerned. Conclusions. The variety of text and text genre leads to important design decisions impacting web corpora. Could and should the tooling be adapted to particular sources that are targeted, or should the extraction be as generic as possible to provide opportunistic ways of gathering information? Due to corpora size or limited resources, the second option is often best. The software packages introduced here can help facilitate text data collection and enhance corpus quality. It can answer to research questions related to web corpus construction. How can an accessible generic extraction be run on web pages? And how can text content be found given a list of websites in the evolution? Trafalgar performs significantly better than other open source solutions, which is corroborated by external benchmarks. The article also provides a fast and meaningful baseline which can be used in similar extraction tasks. And that's all from me. Thank you for your time.